Welcome to episode 243 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry the Professor at Prof Plays Game on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at SummerSpeak on Twitter. We've got UE5 today. We've got Ghost of Tsushima. We've got fucking Paper Mario. This was a week that just blew the fuck up. Like you and our friend Travis from last week kept texting. I was like, what the fuck? There's more shit happening this week? Jesus, what a great week.
This was the week. And really, the Ghost of Tsushima thing was known about last week. But the UE5 tech demo and Paper Mario came out of nowhere.
Yeah, especially, I mean, both of them for sure, but the Paper Mario thing really surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah.
We're going to take these things in turn, but I just want to say about the UE5 thing, that was such a coup for PlayStation, because they had branding or marketing with PS5, right?
It wasn't branded. I don't think they used any logos. Mm-hmm. Just the key thing was whenever they were showing that demo, it was like running on PS5 hardware. And
that's crazy.
And then... I mean, we can dive right into it, which is why it's a coup in some ways. This was announced on Jeff Keighley's.
The Summer Game
Fest. This was like the first Summer Game Fest reveal. Mm-hmm. No one knew what it was going to be, and it happened to be Unreal Engine 5. And so this was his thing, and then he did at least a 30-minute interview with Tim Sweeney and other Unreal Epic developers, just talking about the demo and Unreal Engine 5, what it's doing. But through there, you start learning more. Like, they literally just, for that demo, hooked the output of the PS5 into a capture card. They didn't. This was not running on a PC. This is just straight from a dev kit, straight record.
Was that the one that kind of looked like not Assassin's Creed, fucking Uncharted?
What's that?
Like the whole thing from the UE5 thing? The one, because I didn't see the whole thing, I just saw the piece. It was like the female character traversing like this deserty kind of world.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was the whole thing was like starting in caverns. It mm-hmm. was Uncharted-y, and they then made it very clear that there is no actual game.
Right.
Like,
but that's
yes, it was a real person actually controlling. It could be controlled. Right. So it was someone
being rendered in real time.
Yes, that was all real time on a PS5.
But that's the one that was on. Okay, great, because I didn't see that piece.
Yeah, so
it's so crazy for that coming off of the Xbox 2020 where it was like not really gameplay. This was, not a real game, but definitely gameplay.
Not a game, PS5. But had gameplay. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
A short tech demo showing off, honestly, graphics that none of even the Microsoft thing could compare to.
Right.
The level of detail in the scenes, the lighting, the rendering of like insane numbers of triangles onto the screen. Like, this is exciting stuff.
I saw memes afterwards that were like, there are no more triangles in the world after this UE5 demo.
Kind of. There's a lot that they're saying there, and I'm like, I get it that it can render what it's doing in the behind the scenes is taking very, very high polygon models. We're talking like tens of millions of polygons in a single static model in that scene, and rendering it to screen based on like pixels on the screen and the whole thing. Like, there's all sorts of magic that it's doing, and that's great. And it can do it, and that's cool. It still doesn't stop that asset is probably magnitudes bigger on the disc.
Oh, yeah.
And if a game shipped with movie quality assets like that, CG assets, that download would be 200-300 gigabytes.
That's insane.
Easily, because it's
right.
So there's still people going to do work. Like, they're going to do the tricks to get it down. But sure. And who knows how long it would take to even author assets at that quality. Like, does it take an artist 2 weeks to make one like fallen rock that shows up in a cave? Because of how detailed it has to be. Right. So there's a lot of things where I'm like, this is cool and looks really cool, but may not be completely practical for trying to make a full game out of.
Right.
But it's pretty. It's very pretty. But it showed off just a ton of details, and it was the first thing I've seen that was like, oh, this is what next gen graphics are. Like, this is a noticeable jump. Mm-hmm. Not like I would say like, oh my god, how could this be the next generation? It's not like probably the biggest jump from generation to generation, but we've already hit a point where graphics look really, really good already. Right. We've got ambient occlusion going on. We have all sorts of HDR and bloom and post-processing methods that can be run on current hardware at 60 FPS. and 30 and 60 depending on the game. So you're not, a lot of the image quality stuff we already have now. So you're not going to see such a huge leap from this generation to the next generation. But this demo actually showed you what next generation could look like. And one of the key things, and why this is running on PS5, I think, because they were very clear in an interview with Tim Sweeney afterward, because Jeff Keighley was like, so this could run on Xbox Series X, like, because Unreal Engine runs on all the platforms. And he's like, he was very careful not to, one, mention the Xbox Series X.
Right.
From the Epic side, and then also very careful to say it could run on that hardware. Would it be the same? Like, there was stuff about splitting hairs if it would necessarily be the same experience. Could do exactly what was going on here, because he also said that a lot, especially that clip that I sent you at the end there, whenever the woman like jumps off the cliff and the camera tracks over and follows her at like lightning speed through that canyon. That's one of the main things where the PS5 SSDs are coming in big, because that's why there's no pop-in anywhere in that, because it can load all the data fast enough from disk to just make it a smooth transition at like lightning speed.
I wonder if, so are they bound, a couple of things, like bound not to like kind of bring up, yes, parity between the consoles because they haven't seen the Xbox Series X run this, or they have and they know that the hard drive isn't quite as fast, or? I
think it's the second. Like, one, this is a Sony, they want to talk about Sony, but there is probably some stuff here about where things would have to be retuned to function on a slower solid state connection.
Right.
Bandwidth. So, I mean, it was pretty clear in the interviews that the Epic devs were pretty impressed by the PS5's drive bandwidth and what it enabled them to do from displaying stuff on screen. And I think this also goes into arguing, going like, do teraflops really matter? Because I don't think they really matter anymore.
I feel like people have always kind of made fun of that.
Yeah, and I think this kind of proved it.
Yeah. Is there anything in that reveal as a developer like that stands out as something that would reduce your time in creating the game? So for example, the one thing that I saw was like the bats render, like this whole way that they've created the bats in the cavern or whatever, that you don't actually have to, I don't know, like draw that or whatever. Like they have that auto creates it for you, or when the character
it's like a particle. They actually do a particle system for it. Oh, okay. Which is so this is the thing. It is in Unreal Engine 4. This is part of their Niagara particle system. And you can use that to do things that you would normally think of as 3D models, but as running in the particle system, so that they can do all sorts of crazy geometry going on, but really fast. And that's actually brings up the point that UE5 may have, they're branding it UE5. It's not a huge departure from UE4. And they talked in that interview about people can port their games from UE4 to UE5, and they're going to do it with Fortnite in 2021. So they confirmed that Fortnite will be on next gen, probably at launch, with UE4, and then they will port Fortnite to UE5 and use that as their way to write up how you port a game from UE4 to UE5 for other developers. Right. So, so it's not, I don't think they wanted to make a clear cut in the technology, but it's not. This isn't like from UE3 to UE4, where they went dark for like 18 months without an engine. This is, we're at Unreal Engine 4.25 right now. Honestly, they probably just don't want to call this Unreal Engine 4.3 or 4.30.
There's a big enough leap that they're just going to call it the next.
Yeah, it's just integer. The next thing, and it allows them to deprecate a bunch of older stuff that they don't want to support anymore. Yeah. They can just make a clear line in the sand of being like, hey, look, we don't have to support this other crap anymore. We can support the new systems we want to support. I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. Like, as a dev, like, it speeds up. There's all the Niagara stuff. There's honestly, the lighting is incredible. The lumens, natural light system looks like it's going to just crazy speed up lighting of levels. From just
I love that
setting
turning the sun around so you can see the lighting effects. That was really good.
And real time. You don't have to sit and bake your light anymore. Oh my God.
Right.
Talk about time consuming sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially as your levels get more detailed and you have to bake in your shadows.
That That's the thing that like stood out to me, obviously from a gamer perspective. Like that's exciting to be able to play games like that in a couple of years. But for the dev side, like that just seems one side it seems like time saving, and then I think, okay, if you save time on those things, what are you going to be using your time to do otherwise? Probably a bunch of other shit that's also time consuming.
Yeah, I mean it's never gonna necessarily make things ship quicker, but hopefully it will smooth out some of the pain points that people have right now.
Right.
But not completely. Making games is hard. Like, there's always going to be stuff in there that'll be like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah. Speaking real quick, jump in here real quick. Speaking of hard games that make you go, god damn it, here's a code for The Witness on Steam. CTN8ZBJLP4G4EYJ. Enjoy.
Yeah, that was a good transition there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I don't know. The rest of that, I've watched that demo about 5 times now, 6 times, the whole thing. And I will say something, I think watching it on full screen, highest quality I can possibly get, the last part where she leaps off the cliff and flies through the cavern is really breathtaking every time. And I think the word, like, I was trying to think of the words, like, because I actually was like, I'm having an emotional response to this. Just the beauty of this and the soaring and like the excitement of it. And it's just, if we can get that way, like if games can get to that level of quality and have no pop in, no loading, like you can just, everything is just clear wherever you're looking. It's just really immersive, like super immersive and more than I've felt in a very long time. Like nothing's breaking me from that feeling. So yeah, I was impressed.
It would make you excited from a creator perspective, just like the things that you would have, I don't know if at your fingertips is the right term, but like to be able to do in the future, you know, a couple of years or whenever this is really going to be hitting the streets.
Yeah. I expect, so 2021 is when the engine's going to come out. I wouldn't be surprised if people are going to get it early, some of the bigger studios, and start working with even like beta versions of it. I would expect first game on it within 2 years of it coming out, and it'll be a smaller experience, maybe like a Hellblade type experience, not incredibly long but very art heavy, because they'll clearly they're working on getting art into the game very much easier, designing levels quicker, so things that don't try to push the engine in ways that it doesn't want to work naturally. So I expect within 2 years you'll see some experiences, and within 4 you'll see AAA games on it. 3 to 4.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's, I don't know, kind of like think about the timeline for the current gen. Like the games that are coming out now are just, at least on PS4, are stunning, you know, since Horizon Zero Dawn really forward.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good transition point to Ghost of Tsushima.
Fuck, dude. Yeah. I'll just start. I'm going to let you like kind of jump into this since you've been excited about this for a while, but I really haven't. Like it's been kind of in my periphery, but I don't know, something about it just hasn't really grabbed me until this fucking reveal. My God. So what were your takeaways?
Well, one, the transition point of this is an end life cycle console game, like this generation, and it shows. Like Sucker Punch is pulling no punches, pun intended, when it comes to the graphics in this game. It is gorgeous for a PS4 game. Like that opening shot where it's looking over the cliff down at the world, the island below, and you see the smoke coming in the distance. It actually gave me Breath of the Wild vibes there.
I thought he was gonna fucking jump off the cliff and float down with his hat.
Yeah,
I really did.
But it totally felt like they're going like, yep, we're where Breath of the Wild had a much simpler art style so it could run on the hardware it was running on. This is like, no, what if we did that and we had very high detailed graphics? And
I like
it looks
at that point.
Incredible.
Well, like I like at that point when he was talking about it, right? When he's looking at the cliff, they said, you know, we wanted to make our landscape visually like engaging and enticing. So that was what propelled you forward as opposed to like, you know, dots on your map or whatever. And
yeah,
it's just like,
bringing up a map.
That is what made Breath of the Wild so fucking amazing.
Yep.
So that right there, I was like, that's it. I'm done. That's what I want this game.
Clearly they've learned from that. Like this is, so Breath of the Wild came out. I'd have to look what open world games have started in development or were early in development when Breath of the Wild came out. This might be one of the only major ones at the moment right now where Breath of the Wild came out and they could course correct and learn from it to make their game. And I feel like they are learning from it. And they're like, oh, why did Nintendo make the best open world game ever? Let's go down the list and see if we can do that. First thing that stood out to me was like the minimal HUD, using the wind as your guide.
Oh my god, that was so cool.
Which is perfect. I'm just like, awesome.
That's all you need.
Yeah, you just have visual wind cues that are showing you, no, what you've decided where you want to go is that direction. Go. And then they're like, yeah, you can see birds flying down into your periphery or in front of you, and it's like, oh, if you follow where that bird goes, it will take you to someplace. You can pet the fox. And foxes and animals will guide you to interesting points in the world. And I feel like with all of that, exploration is going to be amazing in this game. It's just going to be, I don't know, in some ways a quiet experience. Contemplative, very samurai-esque, honestly, like really part of that samurai cinema that this is coming from. And being like, no, there's a lot of quiet, contemplative moments in those movies and those stories, and your exploration is going to be a lot of that, which is really cool. Like, was super impressed with the vibe that I got from there.
One thing I wish about that exploration that I may be wrong about this, but the way that they showed the map was when he looked over the cliff and saw those smokestacks or whatever, and you look at your map, then it showed a question mark, like there was something there. Whereas Breath of the Wild, you open it up and there was nothing on your map and you had to put your pins down.
Yeah.
I kind of like that better.
That's true.
Because then I'm like, okay, well, there's no more question marks around me. It must mean there's nothing else to explore here, as opposed to like I need to look around at the landscape, get on top of the tower and look around. Yeah,
I'm really curious on that. Like, I mean, I'm going to have to see more of it because not everything was question mark. So I don't know how those pop up. Like, do you have to be close enough and then they show up? Or do you have to visually be able to have line of sight and then it shows up on your map? I don't know.
Or is the question mark you literally pinning on the map where you think it is, and then you just go toward that waymark?
Yeah, and you say, like, I want to... Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I guess that's the one thing from this demo is there's a lot of cool visuals. The scenery is great. The traversal. He has a horse, which is great. It
was super jarring for me, the English, because like it just took me out of the moment. And then when they announced that there's a Japanese voice track you can turn on before you even start the game, like, all right, that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I love subtitles, so it's fine.
Yeah, and I think that'll be great because that's what this is. Like, you'll be getting to play it in Japanese, and they specifically got the voice actors and the Japanese script to use dialect from the time period this was, which I think is like 1100.
Oh my god.
80. Like,
how'd they find voice actors to fucking...
Well, I mean, they just taught them the dialect so they could do the right wording and everything. But that was like one of the things they wanted more accurate for what Japanese was at that time.
God, it's like doing a video game in Chaucer's language or something. Shit.
And a little bit. I mean, guess for English speakers, it doesn't matter because we'll just have subtitles anyway. But
yes, exactly. Maybe the Japanese speakers will do.
Yeah. It's really crazy to think of that. I don't completely understand how combat works.
Why do you say that?
Basically, there was some pieces but there was stuff on the screen that I'm like, I don't understand what's on the screen right now. Like, is this a special power bar? That was like the bottom left. I was just like, what buttons are you pressing right now? What does it feel like to actually play this game?
I felt like you'd be hammering on R2 the whole game.
Kind of, maybe. Because then they show like a lot of things where like instant one-hit kills. Like, things are not going to take a lot of like bullet sponge to them at all. But I just was trying to get a sense. I'm like, I still don't know how it feels to play with yourself with the controller. Like, how my button presses, are they timed specifically? Especially like that first, like, I challenge this person, do a single slash, and then like slash 3 other people, and like this weird slowdown slice kind of mechanic going on. Like the ghost gameplay felt very Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, totally.
But the samurai does not. The samurai feels very different.
You played obviously you played Second Son, and Sucker Punch has played with morality system in their games. Do you think that the samurai and the ghost are like two sides of a morality system, or do you think that's something you can pop in and out?
I think you can pop in and out. It sounded like it wasn't completely. I don't know if they're on the same axis. Maybe it's like Paragon Renegade and Mass Effect, where you can get both, because they did talk about like the ghost, using the ghost more is dishonorable, but makes the Mongols fear you more.
And I love that piece too. It's not just like it was very much you're in there and you're kicking their ass, and people are looking at you guys and saying, "Nope, fuck this, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes
you're scary as all hell. I'm not okay with this.
Yeah, sometimes those goons just keep running in. Like you're all gonna die. Like Spider-Man. Like they just kept running in. Like you're all gonna fucking die. Just run away.
Yeah.
So
I
really like
don't know. I did like it. I feel like it is taking a lot of the best pieces from Breath of the Wild, the newer Assassin's Creeds, and kind of mushing them together.
Yeah.
Clearly into its own thing. I know. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, CAC Japan, we've been wanting.
Kind of, yeah. But and they've been, at least in interviews, they were very clear that they're not going to have any fantastical or mystical elements in the game. It is very grounded in the real world.
I'm kind of glad about that.
Mystical as like samurai cinema got, which tended not to be. It's very dramatic, but it doesn't have like magic typically in that sense.
I'm glad they're doing it because otherwise you get into fighting fucking dragons and it gets kind of stereotypical and fucking kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And there are other games that handle that. So let us have this. Are you at all interested in that black and white mode?
Yep. That's how I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it with Japanese voice track, English subtitles, and then black and white.
The first time? Really?
With the film grain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Give me my samurai cinema mode. Like, I want to play an Akira Kurosawa film. Sure. Let's do this. I mean, I assume you can turn it off. You could turn it off at any point in time, I'm sure. But I'm going to try it from the start because that's really cool to me that they're doing that. Man, they've done their homework on the samurai movies for this game. Yeah, I'm excited for this. What, mid-July? July 17th now? Because it got pushed a couple weeks.
July 17th, 1 month from today. Today's May 17th. It's the same day that we get.
2 months from today.
Oh, fuck, 2 months from today, sorry. It's the same day that we get, here's a segue, Paper Mario, the Origami King.
Right, it's the same day.
Same day. I mean, maybe different audiences or whatever, but
yeah,
maybe not. I don't know. My daughter would fucking love how that game looks. I want to see how it plays, but...
Paper Mario. I haven't played a Paper Mario in forever.
I played Color Splash, and the finite card battling system was just like dumb. Finite resources, I mean. Yeah. But it was cute. The writing was, it looked cute. The writing was great. It was just not so fun to play.
I think the last one I played was Super Paper Mario on the Wii.
On the Wii. I heard that was a good mix-up of like Paper Mario plus some platforming. Yeah,
no, that was pretty good. It had some fun, interesting takes on levels, the 2D, 3D level shifts. Mm-hmm. I think that was the last one I played, and I played the original. Did I play the original Paper Mario? It came out in No, I didn't play it, but I saw it played, the original Paper Mario.
Was the original one the 1,000-Year Door, or was that the second one?
No, that was the second one.
Okay.
That was on the GameCube. The first one was on N64, and it came out in 2000. North America 2001. So yeah, I watched people in college play it, and really enjoyed that. It was... because in early development it was called Super Mario RPG 2, the original Paper Mario.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. And then
so it was
like Square back out or something like that, and they did their own thing.
Maybe, I don't know, but basically it was a spiritual successor to Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
And then the 1,000-Year Door was known in Japan as Paper Mario RPG.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So yeah, like this has always been their kind of continuation of that to a point. I think they've diverged a bit from that now, but man, what's the new one? The Origami King is the latest. It's such a ridiculous premise. I don't know. Watching Peach walk out and be folded origami and say like something about like be creased and reborn was pretty hilarious, I will say.
Like she is this possessed fucking demon. Scare the shit out of my daughter. Oh man.
But it's the art style looks really, really cool throughout. Just fun play on the 2D, 3D aspects.
There's so many gags that they play with that throughout the series. The thing that is still kind of meshing in my mind is like the origami play style with the flat 2D Paper Mario art style. Trying to put those two things together. I think it'll look good. I think it looks good, but it was a little jarring at first for me.
Yeah, I mean I think is part of the point. Is it supposed to be strikingly different than the normal Paper Mario so that you stand out against it? It's a very cute way of doing the enemy is the clean folded origami.
Right.
God, it's so weird. I was not expecting that game at all.
I mean, it came out of nowhere. I mean,
Yeah.
there have been leaks, of course, about the Mario games, but geez, I just looked at it was like on Instagram GameSpot and said Paper Mario Origami King. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Something got announced. Shit. And it's, I love this. Like, maybe they're breaking up their Nintendo Direct they were going to do or whatever, but like, here's a game to have heard nothing about it. It's coming out in 2 months. Like, that's a great hype cycle.
Yeah, no, it's great. They did that. It seemed like it got a bunch of good hype. Yeah, I'm completely unexpected on that whole thing. I probably will get Ghost of Tsushima though, before getting Paper Mario.
Yeah.
If they're coming out on the same day, like, it's going to be hard for me to I can't get both games. And
right. I think there's more bang for your buck with Tsushima for sure.
Yeah. It's hard to say if what my kids would think of the Mario thing. Like, my son enjoyed Mario Odyssey to a point.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to show my daughter Mario Odyssey as soon as I find it. I think I told you that, right? I took a bunch of my discs out of my Switch case when I was traveling, because if I lost the whole thing, I didn't want to lose all my games. I put them all somewhere. Put them all somewhere safe in my house. Fuck, I don't know where they are. I've looked everywhere, man. Anyway, I think she'd like that. But currently, it's still Wind Waker all day, every day. Like, we're not playing it all day, every day, but she is like play acting Wind Waker all the time.
That's hilarious.
It is amazing, but it's just like I'm running out of things to make up, like what island we're going to and what adventure we're going to have. She's just so into saving her friends and like doing different puzzles. Like, we set up a bunch of puzzles in the house now. Like, we put like, our amiibo up in a high place, and she has to like go on a scavenger hunt to talk to different amiibo to see and Sesame Street characters to see like where the next person is. And by the time she gets to the last person, they're way up high, and she has to like figure out the climbing puzzle and figure out how to get up there. So she uses her hook shot, she uses her boomerang, and she puts up a bunch of cushions from the couch and climbs up and uses them to grab the shit. And it's just like, fuck. It is really cool. So that's what we're playing.
There you go.
Oh man, what a cool kid.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Speaking of fun, this week, you, me, Travis, and Brad fucking just played alone together. That was a really fun time. We used Google Meet and just fucking, I think Brad's the one that shared a screen, but we were all playing separately, and we could hear you.
I tried to share my screen.
Oh, did you? It didn't work?
I did, and everyone said
that's right. That's
a slideshow. It wasn't coming through that great. And you could you could hear mine for whatever reason. And it's funny, it's the mic coming into my new motherboard is where the issue is. Because like right now, I'm using my boom mic that I have, my condenser.
Yeah.
And it doesn't pick up any of the audio of anything else playing. But there's some cross going on the front headphone microphone jacks that are making my microphone pick up at least at some level the audio coming through the speakers. Yeah. It's super weird, but I've got it figured out well enough for now. But yeah, you guys got to hear Control, which I bought for $20, which was the best price ever.
A fucking epic sale right now where you log in, they're like, here's $10. And then you buy any game, that you get another $10 coupon.
Yeah.
And they're giving away, in case anyone doesn't fucking know, they live under a rock, they're giving away GTA 5 right now, which I'm glad I slept on that game because I never bought it.
Neither did I.
I'm the one person in the world.
No. I'm the second person. I had never bought it. Never intended to buy it. But now I own it, and maybe I'll install it and play it and see what this thing is and why people keep playing it still. Right. But Control, man. Like, so I've been looking at it a week ago. I rebuilt my PC, brand new motherboard, RAM, a new AMD Ryzen 3800, the 8 core processor, 16 thread, top, really nice processor. Got an RTX 2060 Super. Not gonna spend the $1,200 on a 2080 Ti. Just not worth it.
Yeah.
But 32 gigs of RAM, a new NVMe hard drive in it as my boot drive. Which I must say, that going back to the PS5 thing, I benchmarked my NVMe drive, which is like 5 times faster than my SATA 3 SSDs that I have in my machine. It's really fucking fast.
So I'm just like that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god, if the PS5's drive is about 3 times faster than mine.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's like holy shit, that thing's going to blaze. That hard drive is going to be blazing fast. But I wanted a game to like, and we got all this new stuff. Like, hey, Control's cheap now. I've wanted to play it. I have new hardware. Okay, let's get Control. Go in, max the settings, turn on the ray trace options that the game has for like reflections and one other thing. And let's see how it runs. Runs flawlessly for one.
Cranked up all the way, huh?
Yeah, cranked up all the way. Never drops below 60. I just have it V-synced at 60 and never drops.
Wow.
And it is such a gorgeous game. Holy shit. Like, art direction is amazing in the game for one. Just watching it in motion, holy crap. Gameplay-wise, this is Remedy at their best. The combat is so buttery smooth. Third-person action. It starts out pretty simple. You have a gun, it's normal kind of gunplay. I just made it past kind of like the second area, and the difficulty definitely spiked up, but only in a like, hey, you're gonna lose if you just stand around and shoot. You need you using all your abilities. So you like your dash, quick dash ability, your like pick up objects and toss them at people, like using the gun and all these other things in combination to defeat different enemies and different groups. And it feels amazing. And it's so fucking bizarre. I have no clue what's going on right now. Like, it is so weird. Such an eclectic, very eclectic and memorable characters in it. And I still don't know completely what's going on. The main character talks to herself. Like, you get a lot of her internal thoughts of her talking to herself, but she's like talking to a different person or as a different person inside her head. So that's really confusing sometimes. You don't have a whole clue of what's going on in this Federal Bureau of Control. And like, what the hell is this place? What are they doing? What's this mysterious enemy? I don't know. I highly recommend it, though. It's probably put 3 hours into it so far, and it's been a blast. I'm glad I picked it up, and I have a machine that runs it really well.
It's a game that's been piquing my interest in terms of like, I'm really bad about this with media, but like as I'm getting toward the end of something, I'm just like incessantly thinking about like trying to pick the perfect game to play next, and it keeps popping up on my PS4. The library basically. I still think I'm settling on finishing Origins next, and then finishing Odyssey. So both of those, I only have a couple hours left, maybe like 6 to 8 in each one.
Which part of Odyssey are you finishing?
The final, the third DLC.
Oh, the DLC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should do that too.
Yeah, the DLC.
I'm like, you finished the game.
I fucking platinumed that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the final. You finished it, right? The final DLC.
No, I did not finish the final DLC.
Okay.
I did not go back to finish it.
I think that's where I'm going next, kind of clean up a few things, but like my next like start fresh game is either Final Fantasy VII Remake or Control. I just don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, you have some time to decide.
I do. Yeah. I probably have like a month. I fucking God of War I feel like I've got 2 main story missions left and then wrap up. I'm probably going to try to go for the platinum, although I think I'm getting some encouragement to record my Valkyrie fights just so people can make fun of me, which sounds like a really cool YouTube channel. But yeah, it's kind of, God of War is what I've been playing, other than Wind Waker, and it's just great. It is really great. The combat is everything just fits together so well. There's a ton of abilities and things to you kind of like press L1 and hit R2 or R1 and all these different button combinations, but it all, like, once you're in it, like, it's all like second nature. Like, if I stepped away and played something else now and came back, it would be hard to get back into it.
I can see that.
But the exploration is kind of like the landscape, not just like Breath of the Wild, but it is enticing. You're kind of like, what's over there? And you go there and there's always something rewarding. It might be just money, or it might be some sort of loot, or it might be like a really cool view or something like that. But there's always something. You always get like that payoff. Every like 5 minutes there's some payoff for exploring.
Nice.
Which I think is probably my favorite part. And then the lore is, if you take the time to read the things that you're picking up, as you're fighting enemies or whatever, you just don't really know who they are, where they come from. As you get deeper into the game, the side quest I just finished, this whole side quest for the dwarves that like upgrade your armor and shit, it finally talks about who those enemies are and where they came from, and it all kind of ties in to a larger story that you could just simply bypass. And I thought that was really cool. So I have 2 main story quests away. from the end, and then we'll do some trophy mop up and see how far I get on that Valkyrie fighting.
That is cool. I've heard the Valkyrie fights are a pain in the ass.
Dude. Yeah. I think I probably will bump that down to easy when I get to that point, because I've been playing on the normal mode throughout the game.
Does it, do the trophies care about difficulty?
They do not. Nope.
Okay. Well, that's something.
And people are talking about, even on easy, the final Valkyrie is just like nightmare.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'll have to work on my button mashing.
Trying to say that. Yes, you can just mash all the buttons as much as you can. No chill whatsoever.
No. I just try to roll. I'm just mashing roll.
There you go.
Get the fuck out of the way. So yeah, I'm really, really, really glad I came back to it. So hopefully you do eventually.
I'm sure at some point. I was trying to see. Oh, there it is. So GameSpot put up a tweet that was like, "You've discovered a magic lamp. The genie says only one of these can get a remaster. Which one do you do?" As PS1 games, Metal Gear Solid, Twisted Metal, Silent Hill, and Xenogears. And Cory Balrog, director of God of War, just tweeted Silent Hill and let me do it.
Oh, dang.
Which I'm like, maybe you get to do it. I don't know.
Let me do it.
Oh, I think of like a camera, like a no-cut camera and like a survival horror like that. Like, holy shit, that would be intense.
That's unrelenting. Holy shit. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, sounds like the exact thing that you want out of a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I found that amusing. I'm very curious what the next thing that they do, if they're going to do another God of War, or if that team will do something else in between.
I feel like you'd want a palate cleanser. Like they weren't even doing DLC. They're like, no, this is it. That's our story.
Yeah, and I don't know how it ends, and I don't need it spoiled or anything. So I'm like, does it end in a definitive way? Like, you can be like, no, we could let this sit for a while before doing anything else in this universe.
Right.
I guess they did that with 3 to this one as well. So it took a long time before someone came up with what the continuation of the God of War story was going to be. So maybe
Balrog bounced around for a while too. So
yeah, maybe they'll just take some time, figure out what they want to do with a sequel.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to be PS4. Maybe they're working on a sequel for PS5 already. Did he do? Oh, he jumped around because he did the.
I'm trying to remember what he was doing.
He was the cinematics director on the Tomb Raider reboot.
Ah, that's right.
And he was a story writer on some of the older God of Wars. He was an animator on the first one. Then he was the game director and writer of God of War 2. And God of War 3, he did initial design and layout.
And then he left. I think
he left for a while. Yeah, and that's where he was on Tomb Raider. And then he came back to Sony Santa Monica. Clearly, in some ways, I'm like, he grew up as a writer in that time.
I mean, he even talked about it. He said, I had a kid.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Because, I mean, even from what I played and like hearing you and Travis talk about God of War more, the story has so much more weight in God of War 2018 than any of the previous God of Wars.
Yeah, from what I've played of 3, and that's the one I've played, definitely. Very much like epic, kind of like, think about it more like summer popcorn movie, like really dramatic and really exciting, but like the depth, the profundity of the character, I think is enhanced in this version, in this story, I mean. Yeah.
So.
Well, having a buddy with you, man. Fuck.
Yeah,
I love it.
Clearly he had something to come back to and say this time. Like,
yes.
Actually had a real story that he wanted to say, and characters to tell it through. So that's it's really cool. I'm pretty excited to see what happens next from that studio and from him.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Applying
give away another
else?
code here. No, have not.
No.
Want to. I have one more week of school, and then it'll be off to the races.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a much needed fucking mental break. So I'm gonna give away a code here for Scythe Digital Edition, which is from the humble Asmodee Digital Play with Friends bundle. It is B4T75FR02, and I think that's an I, EW3MZ. Hit that up on Steam. Enjoy that. Play with some friends. There are lots of digital board games. Once school's out, hopefully we can get into something. For me, I know you're obviously still working.
Yeah.
Just because I stopped school doesn't mean you're not working. But
nope. I'm probably working more.
Yeah, I get about 3.5 weeks off. So
wow,
I'm stoked. Yeah, and I start teaching in the summer.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, no summer. Oh no.
No, I decided to take a summer job, just to bring some extra money in because my wife doesn't get a paycheck in the summer, and now I'm like, man, this was the worst summer to do that. But like, it's hard to say no to a job when so many people are losing their jobs. So I'm not gonna do that. So
I'm trying to think of anything else I played this week. I picked up, started up Terraria again.
Oh yeah, they just finished their last update.
Yep. Right? A lot of people at work were like, "Hey, let's jump into it and just see what's there." It's side scroller Minecraft with a much more RPG vibe to it than Minecraft ever has. There's more emphasis on combat and fighting and loot and things like that. But still very much the gather and crafting game, just done in 2D. I guess there's a reason why I think it's sold like 30 million copies over all its platforms it's been on in 9 years. So, yeah, it's been fun to get back and just kind of experiment with that.
I always had a hard time getting into the very beginning of that game. Like, I didn't know what to do, or maybe I wasn't really paying enough attention.
Get wood, build a house. Exact same thing as Minecraft.
Okay. I guess I wasn't paying attention then.
Build a house, get wood, build a house, so you can survive the first night.
Right.
And then from there, start mining down, trying to find things, and hopefully you don't die. That's basically where it starts, although there's supposedly like lots of different bosses in the game now since the last time I played, and tons of like
early game bosses or late game bosses.
There's like 30 throughout the entire thing, so I assume that they all happen at different points in time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where it kind of has more of the RPG mechanics going on. Yeah, it's been fun to just experiment with. I mean, I'm working on a space gather crafting game, so playing these other ones helps ground my design brain in what the genre is doing and how Astroneer is very different from a lot of these other games.
Is it better to play games that don't look like yours, even though they have similar mechanics-ish?
Sometimes, yeah. So it doesn't get too close to what you're working on, but you can just separate out the mechanics a lot more. Yeah, so that's been fun to do that. I played some more scrap mechanic. Same reason. I made a car that actually has suspension and all sorts of stuff on it now. Which is crazy to put together. Whenever you put something together like that, and it actually, you're like experimenting with like your crafting and like building your chassis out with like blocks and then putting suspension on, and it like collapses and doesn't work. So you lift it back up and tweak and tune it. And when it does work, it feels pretty damn good.
You get that satisfying rush.
You get a very satisfying rush of like, hey, look I made a little car, a little like one person seat race car thing that I can now drive across the landscape with suspension so it doesn't flip over all the time. So I don't know. It's very rewarding kind of work. I understand why these games are very popular. And a lot of people like to do that experiment test. Oh, it didn't work. Fix. Back again, over and over and over again. And then you add the exploration element to it. So as they're experimenting and testing these things, you get to go farther away from your like home base, see new things, etc., etc. It's a very exciting loop for people. So, yep, jumped around a lot.
Those types of games, I mean, maybe, I don't know if Minecraft was the first one, but those have just been so captivating.
Yeah, and they've continued to be captivating over time. And I get a lot of people that would consider themselves hardcore gamers look down on them, but there's a reason why they're popular. And I think there's a reason why they're very popular now, too. A lot of the same reason that Animal Crossing is super popular right now.
Oh, it's just kind of like the chill.
Yeah.
I don't know what's exactly what it's called, but like the laid back. Right?
Yeah, very laid back. Work at it.
We don't need more stress.
Yeah, not stressed. Like work at it at your own pace. The player, like as a player, you feel very in control of what's going on. Where in the world right now, you're not really in control of anything. So it's nice to have like, oh, I can do this and I feel in control. I know what's going on.
Right. And I know games obviously have always been like escapism, you know, same thing with like fantasy literature or whatever. But like this is the first time I think in my life where, other than when I was like a kid in like a really shitty home situation, where it's just been like necessary. Like once I picked this game back up, God of War, it's just like I melt for 3 hours a night. Like I'm playing this game initially it was like, I would stay up till 10:30. I'm like, that's my hard cutoff, go to sleep. Then it was 11. Then it was 11:30. Now it's 12. And now it's 12:15. Like I want to play in like huge stretches, and that never happens. This is the first time in a long time where that's been the case. And stress at work, and then just obviously stress in the world. So
stress of life right now. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
We all need our escapes again. Gaming is very good for that. Animal Crossing hit at the right time.
Oh my God. They just stumbled into that.
Have you followed Gary Whitta's thing?
I've just followed who he's had on it.
The animal talking thing? Like, yeah,
yes,
but I mean,
exactly.
That's the thing, who he had on it. Elijah Wood, Danny Trejo, and Greg Grunberg this last Thursday.
Right.
You're like, because they all play Animal Crossing. These, like, I can't even imagine Danny Trejo playing Animal Crossing, but it's hilarious to me that he's super into it. So I'm just like, this is bizarre.
He's had so many fucking celebrities, It's been like something that he was just doing I don't know if he knew exactly what he was getting into, but man.
Yeah, it was just like, I just want to make a little fake talk show with Animal Crossing with my friends more than anything. And then It just kind of spiraled out from there with like more and more famous people being like, I want to do it. This sounds fun.
Yep.
And they
even
also,
AOC.
yeah, they even talk about it in a very similar way of like, it's such a good escapism game right now.
Yep.
Like, it's very zen to them. Like, they just do their daily chores. I mean, I still do it like daily, probably 45 minutes to an hour, but it's like just one of those daily tasks that you don't have to think too much about, and it's just a very nice grounded experience.
Right.
I think a lot of people need that right now.
Absolutely do.
And it's showing with the sales numbers. Like, holy crap. I was at Target yesterday. I had to go pick up stuff, do my grocery shopping, general stuff. They have 0 consoles of any type there.
Oh my God, I bet.
They're just all sold
gone.
out. All the consoles are just sold out. They didn't even have Joy-Cons.
Wow.
I know. I was like, okay, point taken.
I was actually thinking about getting a second just a base PS4 for like my upstairs. I'm thinking about doing some streaming this summer. But yeah, you're right. Good luck finding one.
Yeah. I think you'll have a better luck getting a PS4 at some point here, but the Switch,
not a Switch, no way.
No way. They're nowhere to be found.
That's fine. I have a Switch. It's good. I don't need another one.
But man, well, cool. I don't think I got anything else this week.
No, that was a big week, and next week is going to be, Jesus Christ, we'll see, huh?
Yeah, who knows what's going to be announced. I think you said, like, this is a bunch of, like, pre-E3 stuff that's still hitting that I guess they just scheduled anyway. So that's where we're at.
I mean, it's exciting coming into, pre-E3 season and realizing that everyone's going to do their own shit, and they're going to be announcing it whenever. It could be like tomorrow, it could be another huge news day, and just it's nice to have something to look forward to, even if it's looking forward to maybe there'll be something today. So
yeah,
good stuff.
We don't know.
That was episode 243 of Prof and Dev Play Games. He is at Summerspeak. I'm at Prof Plays Games. If you like us, tell your friends, and we will be back next week with some hijinks and some fun stuff.
Yes. Later, everyone.
And probably some codes.
Yeah.
All right, folks. See ya.